like trying to decide what do I want to do? Janelle suggested I buy her out. I'm like, how? I don't have that kind of money. I don't know the answer well enough to be able to move on it. But I got these two exes going, I want this. Let's do, what are we doing? What are we doing? And I'm like, I don't know. So they're nagging me, which is great because I just got two ex-wives who are total nags, now nagging still.
You guys, I think we just cracked the case on where all of Kody and Robyn Brown's money has been going. And it's not on bills, groceries, or anything remotely normal. Nope. Turns out, Robyn has been dropping over $62,000 on dolls. And before you assume, oh, she's just spoiling little Ariella, think again. These aren't for her daughter. They're for Robyn. So, here's what went down. A Sister Wives fan did some internet sleuthing and managed to dig up Robyn's Etsy purchase history. And what they found? Absolutely unhinged. Robyn had 617 purchases, all related to dolls and custom doll outfits. And not just any dolls. Some of these collectibles cost up to $695 each. This woman has been going in on high-end dolls like she's curating a museum. And let's talk about the price tag. Between 2022 and 2025, she spent $62,000 on Etsy alone. Meanwhile, Kody has been out here crying broke, talking about financial struggles, and blaming everyone else for their money issues. Turns out, the real culprit might just be Robyn and her Build-A-Doll empire. Now, the real kicker? Once Robyn caught wind that people were lurking, she locked her Etsy account. No more public purchase history, no more receipts, just vibes and a whole lot of suspicious spending. But if you've been paying attention, this isn't even the first time Robyn's spending habits have raised eyebrows. We already know she's obsessed with Precious Moments figurines, floral decor, and a suspicious amount of purple. At this point, the Brown family finances are making way more sense.
Including Kody and her asking him, I feel like, is a way for us to kind of be included and a part of it and not feel so much like an outsider.
Oh, you thought reckless spending was reserved for the ultra-rich? Think again. While billionaires like Candy Spelling can afford to hoard luxury collectibles, Robyn? Not so much. Yet she's out here spending $170 on antique Crocs, over $100 on a teacup journal, and nearly $200 on a massive antique crock bowl. And let's not forget, this is all happening while their financial struggles have been public knowledge for years. But wait, it gets even wilder. People first started noticing Robyn's spending habits when her home went on the market. Fans doing virtual tours of the house couldn't help but spot the questionable purchases, leading to a heated discussion on her Patreon. Turns out, this isn't new behavior. According to Mikkel, all of Kody's wives had their own ways of blowing cash. Christine, for example, was all about traveling the world and spending $62,000 on trips over the years. But Robyn, she prefers to stay home and drop thousands on antiques and pottery instead. And then there's Kody, who was recently spotted filling his Costco cart with dolls and toys in Arizona. Now, maybe this was all for their daughter, but given Robyn's well-documented doll obsession, people can't help but raise an eyebrow. The crazy part? When Kody was married to Janelle, Christine, and Meri, he was not this loose with money. In fact, let's rewind to season 1 when Kody told Christine she needed to save her grocery money if she wanted to go on vacation. Fast forward to now, and suddenly he's out here spending like they've got unlimited funds? So, are they secretly in a better financial position? Highly doubtful. Kody still owes back child support, and there's zero evidence that their money problems have magically disappeared. And yet, here they are spending like it's 2012 and Sister Wives is still a TV ratings juggernaut. At this point, I gotta ask, what do y'all think is going on here? Are they just making terrible financial choices? Or is their money coming in from somewhere we don't know about? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this situation is getting more bizarre by the day.
Better give your mom a hug, too.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
So,
I'm so nervous.
You were nervous?
Yeah.
Feels to me like the right thing for her. She's following her life path and her beliefs, and I support that.
Do y'all remember that Sister Wives moment where Robyn Brown gifted Meri a junk journal? Because I am still not over how bizarre that was.
Oh, that's pretty.
May there always be an angel by your side. That's a junk journal. It's basically a journal with a whole bunch of like pictures, cute little papers and stuff like that.
I just want everything to go okay for you. Thank you. I think it will.
I'm really big on writing down your dreams and your goals. And the whole point of bringing a journal to her was to say, I wish you happiness in your next chapter.
First off, why did Robyn open the gift for Meri? Like, girl, what are you doing? And then she pulls out this Frankenstein-looking scrapbook with ribbons, jewelry, tassels, and random old papers glued everywhere. It had little cards tucked inside, some pages you could write on, but most were already pre-filled with quotes and pictures. I was staring at my screen like, what in the cluttered arts and crafts mess is this? And then Robyn proudly calls it a junk journal. Now, I had to investigate, because who just casually gifts someone a junk anything? Turns out, junk journaling is actually a thing. It's basically a DIY scrapbooking craft where you use recycled materials, old paper, cutouts, photos, and random scraps to make an artsy little book of memories. And the whole point? You're supposed to make them yourself. It's meant to be sentimental, handmade, and meaningful. But of course, this is Robyn we're talking about. So did she sit down and lovingly craft this thing for Meri? Absolutely not. Instead, she buys them. Like, a lot of them. I started snooping through her Etsy reviews. Yes, we're going full detective mode here. And this woman has purchased so many of these journals. And here's the real tea. I'm pretty convinced she didn't even buy this one specifically for Meri. She probably just dug through her stash, found one she wasn't using, and was like, oh, this'll do. And let's talk about the price, because this is where my jaw actually dropped. At first, I thought, oh, it's just a journal, probably $20, no big deal. Nope. The journal she gave Meri? $175. Yes, you heard that right. $175 for a scrapbook-style notebook that you can barely write in. And not even a keepsake one? This was a goodbye journal. $175 to say goodbye. So yeah, while the junk journal might be a cute idea, the whole situation just screamed, I forgot to get you a gift, so here's something from my closet. Classic Robyn.
This is a tough conversation for me because I'm just like, wait a minute, we worked together for so long and I helped so much with these earlier years. Like for me, it's like feels balanced.
Robyn's shopping habits have always been a little interesting, but lately it's like she's stuck in a time capsule. Almost everything she buys screams preteen obsession. Journals covered in doodles, cutesy collectibles, and of course, American Girl dolls. It's giving never grew out of middle school. And honestly, once you start seeing the pattern, it's hard to unsee it. Take the journals, for example. They're exactly the kind of thing teenage girls hoard. Scrapbooks filled with stickers, glitter, and whatever aesthetic was trending at the time. Back when Robyn were a kid, junk journals weren't even a thing. So, unless she had some secret crafting addiction no one knew about, this obsession is giving serious Arrested Development. But the real kicker? The American Girl dolls. A deep dive into their history shows they were first released in 1986, originally sold exclusively through catalogs before exploding in popularity. By the early 90s, every girl and their best friend wanted one. But let's be real, these dolls weren't cheap. They were borderline luxury items for kids. And knowing Robyn's background, I have a hard time believing she had one as a child. Yet here she is, as a grown woman, collecting them like she's making up for lost time. So, what's really going on with Robyn? Is she just a harmless collector chasing childhood nostalgia? Or is there something deeper at play? Either way, her shopping cart looks like it belongs to a 12-year-old, and that's definitely raising some eyebrows.
So are you excited about this?
No, not at all.
Hey, Kody.
How are you?
Good. I'm all right. I'm doing all right.
I am so sick and tired
But let's get
of
back.
being guilted for loving Robyn.
Robyn's behavior is starting to make a lot more sense, and honestly, it's a little unsettling. At first, her obsession with that one doll from childhood just seemed like harmless nostalgia. But then you watch how she reacts to things, and suddenly it all clicks. She's emotionally stuck in the past. It's like she never grew up, and everything from her shopping habits to her emotional outbursts is proof of it. She's impulsive, constantly crying, and throws tantrums whenever things don't go her way. But here's the kicker. She doesn't yell or fight back like an adult. Instead, she cries. And if you grew up around other girls, you probably remember that one girl who would burst into tears anytime she got in trouble just to get out of it. They'd act up, get called out, and suddenly it's all, I didn't mean to, or I'm so upset, as they weaponize their tears for sympathy. That's exactly what Robyn does. She cries when she's mad, cries when she's sad, cries when she's caught, and before you know it, everyone feels bad and backs off. It's emotional manipulation at its finest. And it doesn't stop there. Her entire life is curated around reliving childhood. She hoards dolls, vintage jewelry, journals, and even those etched glass pieces that were big in the 70s, things our moms probably owned. It's like she's stuck in a never-ending time loop, recreating the past because she can't deal with the present. Which begs the question, what happened back then that made her so desperate to hold on to it? Even her hair tells on her. The ringlet curls, straight out of Little House on the Prairie. Specifically, Nellie Olson, the bratty, spoiled bully who tormented Laura Ingalls. Coincidence? Maybe. But when you stack it on top of everything else, the childish purchases, the emotional stunting, the impulsive spending, it all starts looking less like nostalgia and more like a serious case of arrested development. Now, I'm not saying Robyn needs therapy, but actually, no, that's exactly what I'm saying. Because once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it.
Do you ever sit there and feel you wish we were in a plural relationship? The question in my head is like, are we going to try to live plural marriage again?
You ever met an adult who acts like a toddler with a credit card? The impulse control? Non-existent. 1 minute, they're on a shopping spree like it's Monopoly money. And the next, they're blaming everyone else when the bill comes due. Because, of course, it's never their fault. Experts say emotionally childish adults show clear signs, and this person hits all 10 like it's a bingo card. First up, impulsivity. Kids don't think about consequences. 1 minute, they're making reckless decisions. The next, they're shocked when people call them out. Then there's the blame game. Grown-ups fix problems. This person, they just pass the buck, no accountability in sight. And let's talk about lying. When backed into a corner, a mature adult owns up. This celeb, they'll spin the wildest story just to dodge responsibility. Oh, and don't forget the name calling. Adults debate, toddlers throw insults. But when you're famous, apparently you just go on a rant and call it clapping back. Then there's the need for constant attention. Ever tried having an adult conversation while a 2-year-old demands all eyes on them? That's this celeb at every public event. They interrupt, overtalk, and hijack the moment because they have to be the main character. And let's not even get started on the bullying behavior. If they don't get their way, they lash out, sometimes in the pettiest ways possible. But the biggest red flag? That creeping narcissism. When someone starts believing the rules don't apply to them because they're richer, more famous, or just louder, that's a dangerous game. What starts as privilege quickly turns into full-blown entitlement. This celeb has built an entire personality around being too important to be wrong. At the end of the day, emotional immaturity isn't just about being dramatic. It's about dodging accountability, acting out, and treating people like props in their personal drama. And this celeb, they're running the whole playbook.
I really wasn't really paying attention to Kody's schedule. I don't know, I was okay if he wasn't there, and I was okay if he was there. It was great either way. I don't know.
Robyn Brown's spending habits, impulsive behavior, and alleged manipulation tactics have been raising eyebrows for years. But could it all be linked to deep-rooted childhood trauma? From extravagant gift-giving to controlling family dynamics, let's break down the psychology behind Robyn's behavior and why even her sister wives are keeping their distance. Time and time again, Robyn has shown emotional immaturity, reacting to situations with tantrums, sulking, and even outright manipulation when things don't go her way. Instead of owning up to her mistakes, she shifts the blame onto others, using classic deflections like, "I didn't do that," or "I don't remember." Sound familiar? It's the same defense mechanism kids use when they're caught in a lie. Take her emotional outbursts. She cries when people leave, throws fits when things don't go her way, and allegedly bullies those around her. She acts recklessly with money, spending thousands on Etsy hauls, yet expects everyone else to take care of her. It's as if she's stuck in a mindset where the world revolves around her, and her needs always come first, no matter how it affects others. Even Christine and Janelle seem to struggle to relate to her, and it's not hard to see why. How do you connect with someone who behaves like an overgrown child? And let's talk about that bizarre gift-giving habit. Robyn doesn't give gifts based on what the recipient actually wants. She gives gifts that she would want. Take Meri, for example. Instead of choosing something personal and meaningful, Robyn gifted her a $175 journal. Why? Because Robyn likes to write down her dreams, so she just assumed Meri would too. The same pattern repeats with other people. Robyn loves dolls, so she gifts dolls. Robyn loves stickers, so guess what? Everyone gets stickers. There's no thought put into what others actually enjoy, because in Robyn's mind, everyone must love what she loves. But her behavior goes deeper than just childish selfishness. It ties into her alleged financial manipulation. Many have speculated that Robyn played a key role in keeping Kody tied to his other wives for financial reasons. Think about it. If you have a spending problem and you're trying to keep it under wraps, wouldn't it be easier if your husband was too busy juggling multiple marriages to notice the endless stream of packages arriving at the house? Robyn allegedly even had a whole shed where she hid her online shopping hauls from Kody. So, was she pushing for a plural marriage because she truly believed in the lifestyle? Or was it just a convenient way to cover her financial tracks? And here's where things take an even darker turn. Robyn's alleged unresolved trauma. Multiple sources have come forward claiming that her biological father, Robert, was extremely abusive. He reportedly had horrific views on sex, treated women terribly, and physically abused his daughters. If true, this could explain a lot about Robyn's behavior. Instead of confronting her past, she allegedly shifts the blame onto everyone else, claiming she's the one who's been wronged, while actually being the one inflicting harm on those around her. So, what's really going on here? Is Robyn just emotionally stunted, trapped in the mindset of an 8-year-old? Or is there something more sinister at play? Manipulation, control, and a desire to keep those around her under her thumb. Either way, one thing is clear: at 46 years old, this is no way to live. What do you think? Is Robyn playing the victim while pulling the strings? Or do you actually feel bad for her? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Also, share this video with your friends. Because let's be real, we all know someone who acts like Robyn. Thanks for watching, and remember, if your friend starts gifting you dolls, maybe it's time to reevaluate that friendship.